Cooking in the kitchen can cause back, neck, and shoulder pain, so Maggie Downey is here with exercises to help relieve some of that discomfort. And, you know, we've talked about this before, like I throw out my back just sleeping, right? So when you're in the kitchen and you're prepping, you can put a lot of strain on your body because you're bent over, you're trying to move things around. Like, look, that already hurts.
Yeah, right. Well, counters are like one size fits all, except they don't fit any of us, right? And we're there for hours, we're on our feet all day. And so there are some tips of things to notice what you're doing, change what you're doing, and then some stretches you can throw in as well.
Okay, so let's dive in.
So the first tip is if you're working at the counter, you're washing dishes, whatever you're doing, and you realize your pelvis is making contact with the counter, you're putting strain on your back.
Okay.
So it seems like you got to do more work, but you got to get your hips over your heels.
Hips up. Okay, that is great to know.
Try not to let the hips bow forward. Also, because we're doing so much chopping, our wrists tend to get sore. So you can use your own countertop and put your fingers, most counters are higher than our table. But you're going to put your fingers on it and press down to stretch into your forearm.
Well, that feels great already.
Right?
But that can be helpful. Yeah, your hands can certainly cramp up if you're constantly chopping different vegetables and whatnot. So
Absolutely. Yep. And you could flip them and bend them the other way too. You could stretch both sides, but palms down, you're probably going to need more.
Okay, good to know. What else?
The other big one to do is use your countertop. You're going to walk away from it as far as your flexibility allows. And just go into as deep a stretch as feels good for you.
Yep, that's great.
And again, we haven't even been cooking all day and these feel fabulous.
I know it. Yeah. So that's another good one.
So that's a great one. You're going to come about halfway back up, and because we're curled forward so much, you're going to reach under the one arm you leave on the table, but then you're going to focus on twisting back up to the ceiling and reach up to the ceiling.
Love that.
Yeah, this will be a good one.
Okay.
We also do one called the Zeppelin, where you're going to put both hands on the counter, both feet stay fixed, and then you can do whatever you want.
Oh, we can...
Anything that feels good.
We got a little choreo happening here during our Thanksgiving prep.
It's a little freestyle movement.
We need more of that,
One thing to think about too is that you're on your feet, so you want to move them. You can use the counter for balance. And you could do some like heel lifts coming up and down. You could stop and balance and circle your foot and point and flex it.
I used to do this all the time when I was an athlete, and it still feels good now too.
If you've got the rolling pin out, I generally say I try to separate my cooking rolling pin from my massage rolling pin, but you can give yourself a little foam roll.
That's great. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the more foam rolling, the better, right? But just make sure it doesn't have any of the flour or pie crust on it, because then they can get a little messy.
Unless you're already covered in flour, and then in
that case, just like lean in, quite literally. Okay.
You also want to think of when can you get off your feet. So if you're peeling potatoes, can you go sit at the table instead of staying standing? I know I get the pie duty in my family, and when I'm using the pie cutter, the counter's never the right height for me. I actually take the dough in the bowl, I sit on the bottom step of my stairs, so I'm in a squat, and I mix my dough there. It's a much more comfortable position. That might not be convenient, but start to think about ways you can get off your feet and use different surfaces to help you prepare.
And listen, you might be laughing at home, but you can really injure yourself if you're not thinking about your posture. I mean, regardless of like what holiday you're prepping for, right? Even if it's just dinner at home.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. If you're gonna halfway through prep be so sore that you can't enjoy your family and your friends, what's the point?
What's the point? Listen, these are simple things that you can incorporate into your daily routine, your daily holiday routine, right? If people want to follow along, because you always give us such great information about ways that we can incorporate movement into our everyday life, where can they go to find you?
PersonalEuphoria.com.